Okay, next. Punta na tayo sa next natin. Yung cost of production. Okay, class, dito, yung cost of production, ang i-discuss muna natin ay yung economic concept ng cost. Later na natin i-discuss yung managerial concept, yung mga break-even, and even yung accounting concept. Kasi sa inyo, nauna yung economics kaysa sa accounting, or nauna yung economics kaysa sa cost accounting. So, doon muna tayo sa economics mag-focus. So, first, we have a short-run total cost. So, short run, short term ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. In the short run, firms have both fixed and variable cost. So, when we say fixed, class, ito yung total cost that do not vary as to volume. So, meaning kahit gaano kadami yung i-produce mo, kahit gaano kadami yung output mo, same pa rin yung total fixed cost na yan. So, ang best example niyan, let's say depreciation ng ating equipment. 'Di ba? Kahit marami or kahit konti ang ma-produce mo, since ang computation mo naman ng depreciation ay straight line by default, so yung depreciation, that is a fixed cost. Okay, over the short run. Kasi nga yan ay do not vary as to volume. As meron din tayong tinatawag na variable cost. So ito naman yung cost that the total cost vary as to volume. So meaning, the more you produce, the more cost you will incur. So ano naman ang best example niyan? Best example niyan yung ating direct materials. Diba? For example, class, nagpo-produce ka ng t-shirt. Yan. Gayahin natin si Rico. So, kung nagpo-produce ka ng t-shirt, so when we say fixed cost, so let's say yung depreciation ng iyong machine, fixed cost yun. Diba? Kasi kahit ang ma-produce may 100 t-shirts, 500 t-shirts, or 1,000 t-shirts, same lang yung iyong magiging depreciation expense. However, yung iyong materials, so yung iyong tela, yung even yung indirect materials mo, 'di ba, yung mga panahi, ganyan. So variable cost 'yun, meaning kung mag-produce ka ng 100 t-shirts, kung mag-produce ka ng 500 t-shirts, mas marami yung mai-incur mo. Okay, so yan, meron tayong fixed and variable cost. Okay, so next, we have average fixed cost. So ano ba yung average fixed cost? The fixed cost per unit of production. So paano mo makukuha yan? Total fixed cost divided by number of units. It goes down consistently as more units are produced. So sa later managerial subjects natin, makikita nyo yan, yung concept ng leverage. So ano ba yung average fixed cost? So, syempre, the more units you produce, mas mababa daw yung average fixed cost. So, in that case, yung machine, di ba, yung depreciation ng machine, para masulit mo pala yun, para sulit na sulit yung machine, di ba, you produce as much units as you can. Yeah. So, as much units as you can para masulit yung kanyang fixed cost per unit. Yeah. Okay. While yung average variable cost naman, so syempre, paano mo in-obtain to? Total variable cost divided by number of units. So, yun yung variable cost per unit of production. And in this case, since yan ay variable, it stays constant on a per unit basis until inefficiencies cause AVC to begin to rise. Or yung average variable cost, pwede pa rin yan tumaas if meron tayong inefficiencies, which we will discuss later. Okay? So, yan. Again ipag-usapan natin yung fixed cost, fixed in total, di ba? Goes down on a per unit basis. Yung variable cost naman, variable in total, constant on a per unit basis. Okay? So, basta tanda mo yung example, depreciation ng equipment, tapos yung ating direct materials. Okay? Next, we have marginal cost or yung MC. Ano naman yung marginal cost? That is the cost of producing one extra unit or cost of producing one more unit. Yun naman kasi yung marginal, one more unit. Okay, and then average total cost. So, syempre, hindi na sinabi kong fixed or variable. Total na yan. Total cost, fixed cost plus variable divided by the number of units produced. Okay? Fixed cost plus variable cost divided by the units produced. Okay. So next, class, punta tayo sa law of diminishing returns. Alam ko na itong term na to ay lagi nyo nang na-encounter, yung law of diminishing returns. Pero tingnan natin yung talagang ibig sabihin yan. This law states that as we try to produce more output with a fixed productive capacity, okay, so nagpo-produce daw tayo ng more output with a fixed productive capacity. Diba ginagawa natin yan? Kasi para nga masulit natin yung fixed cost, marginal productivity will decline. Ayan. So, the more output that we produce with a fixed productive capacity, so in this case, let's say yung warehouse, diba? Yun kasi yung ating productive capacity. Okay? As we produce more output, marginal productivity or the productivity for one more product, for producing one more item or one more unit will decline. Okay? So, class, bibigyan ko kayo dito ng practical na example. Hindi ko lang kung na-encounter nyo na to eh. For example, meron ka daw farm. O yan, meron kang farm. Yan. Okay? So, sa farm mo, yan, nagtatanim ka dyan ng palay or mais. Okay? Okay, let's say sa farm mo, ikaw lang yung nagsasaka mag-isa. Diba? Ikaw lang yung nagsasaka mag-isa. So, meron kang certain level of output. Okay? So, ngayon, naisip mo, malaki naman yung farm mo. Yeah, so, to produce more output, nagdagdag ka ng additional worker or farmer. So, dalawa na kayo nagsasaka. So, anong magiging effect niyan? So, syempre, higher productivity. Kasi dati, isa ka lang, ngayon, dalawa na kayo. Diba? Mas efficient. Okay? However, so, ano ba yung daw dito? More output. So, by adding more workers with a fixed productive capacity, let's say nagdagdag ka daw na nagdagdag ng workers until such point na dumating na meron ka na daw 100 farmers. Okay? The productivity, okay, for each additional worker na dinadagdag mo, okay, yung last na worker na inad mo will already decline. Bakit? Kasi hindi mo in-expand yung iyong productive capacity eh. Yan pa din yung farm mo eh. 100 na kayo nagpa-farm dyan. So, yung pang 100 na tao na i-add mo, baka wala na siyang ginagawa. Or wala na siyang return. Or wala na siyang productivity. So, yan daw yung law of diminishing returns. Yan. As we produce more output with a fixed productive capacity, marginal productivity will decline. Okay? So, yan. Ang reason dyan, class, is because yung relationship natin sa ating mga cost na na-mention earlier. Okay? So, yan, no? Plus, yung ating average variable cost, okay, and average fixed cost, di ba, ang average variable cost, constant on a per unit basis. Until such point na merong inefficiencies which will cause the average variable cost to rise. Tama? So, dito, meron na tayong inefficiency. Okay? Yung average fixed cost naman, that is pababa yan, di ba? The more units we produce, the lower the average fixed cost. Okay, and then yung average total cost naman, syempre, class, ito ay combined measure nitong average variable cost and average fixed cost. Okay? Ang gusto kong makita nyo ay ito, syempre, yung ating marginal cost. Okay? So, as we produce more units, di ba, bumababa yung ating marginal cost per unit. However, there will come a time that the marginal cost will now begin to increase. Kasi hindi mo naman in-expand yung productive capacity. Okay, so yun yung magiging question natin dyan. Kailan ba kailangang i-expand yung ating fixed productive capacity? Di ba? So, ayan, syempre, when the marginal costs are beginning to rise, so ito, tumataas na. So, sign na yan. You will need to increase your fixed productive capacity. Okay? So, however, ito naman, discussion na yan sa long run total cost. Okay? So, ayan. Sa short run, meron tayong two types of cost, variable and fixed. That's, however, in the long run, all costs are considered to be variable. Sir, paano yung depreciation ng machine? Diba? Variable na din ba yon? In the long run, yes. Kasi you can purchase or increase all production factors by a given proportion in the long run. Diba? Kasi pwede ka naman bumili ng additional machine. Kung yan ay warehouse, pwede ka naman mag-purchase ng additional warehouse or facility. Okay? So, all costs are variable in the long run. Okay? And by increasing all production factors, so let's say nagdadagdag ka ng warehouse or nagdadagdag ka ng machine, as meron tayong 3 possible outcomes na mangyari dyan. By adding, for example, a production facility, for example, nagdagdag tayo ng warehouse, ito ang possible scenario. 1, we may either have constant returns to scale. So, ano yung constant returns to scale? The output increases in the same proportion as the previous. So, meaning, nung nagdagdag ka so let's say may isa kang warehouse, nagdagdag ka ng panibagong warehouse, meaning yung output mo in the new warehouse is the same rate as the previous. So, output increases in the same proportion. Okay? So, next, we have increasing returns to scale. So, output increases by a greater proportion compared to the previous. So, for example, yung output mo, nung isa pa lang yung warehouse mo, compared to your output, nung dalawa na yung warehouse mo, so, increasing returns to scale yun ang tawag. Okay? If it increases by a greater proportion. Okay? And last naman, yung decreasing returns to scale, if your output increases by a smaller proportion, okay, compared to your previous. Okay? So, yan. Class, ang pinaka-goal naman natin dyan ay syempre, ito, yung increasing returns to scale, also known as economies of scale. Para masulit natin yung expansion. Kasi nag-expand tayo eh. Para masulit natin yung expansion, so ito yung goal natin, increasing returns to scale. Okay? So, next slide. So, class, ito yung, ito yung graph wherein makikita natin yung tatlong scenarios na yon. Class, ang pinakasulit ay ito, yung economies of scale. So, bakit? Kasi the greater the quantity, okay, so the greater the quantity, the lower the cost per unit. And yan yung gusto natin. Yan, to decrease the cost per unit. So, economies of scale yun. Okay? So, before tayo dito sa gitna, ito munang opposite. So, ito namang opposite. So, the greater the quantity, the greater the cost per unit. So, this economies of scale yan. So, yan yung ina-avoid natin. Okay? And then, itong gitna, ayan, class, oh. The greater the quantity, same lang yung ating cost per unit. So, ito na yung constant return. Okay? So, ito yung objective, economies of scale. So, therefore, okay, ang ating objective is to hit this minimum efficient level of production. Okay, ito. Kasi at this point, meron na tayong economies of scale. Okay? Which will cause the cost per unit to decrease. Okay? Next. Yung concept naman ng profits, since na-mention na rin natin yung cost of production. So, meron tayong 2 types of profit sa economics. We have normal profit. So, that is the amount of profit necessary to compensate the owners for their capital and or managerial skills. And it is just enough profit to keep the firm in business in the long run. So, yun yung important dyan. So, to keep the firm in business in the long run. Okay? And then, economic profit naman, the amount of profit in excess of normal profit. And in a perfectly competitive market, economic profit cannot be experienced in the long run. Okay? So, yan yung ating concept ng profit.